Hey, what's up YouTube? It's iAzraXD here, and today I'm bringing you my post-link DDD deck profile. So, with the new link rules, this deck has been cut off at the legs basically. You can't make the boards you normally would be able to make. But the deck is still enjoyable to play, and there's still some sick combos you can do. So, obviously this is my build, and I'll show you guys what I run. Feel free to use this as a guideline when you build your deck. So pretty much standard, we have free Swirl, free Lamia, then we have 3 Necro, and 2 Ghost. So Ghost works really well with Allure of Darkness. You can return to your graveyard some of your banished materials, and it also lets you go from your Genghis into Siegfried or any of your level 8s into the level 10 Synchro. So it's really decent. I've seen decks played at 1, but I prefer 2 just because it suits my playing style a bit better. Then we have 3 Ragnarok, 2 Thomas, and 1 Armageddon. So basically, Thomas at 2 works pretty well for me. I've seen decks played at 3, but I feel like if you play 3 Ragnarok and 3 Thomas, you potentially want to play 2 of this and then run the trading engine. But I play Desires, so I've got the ratios down a bit. Plus Armageddon is actually another target for Thomas, should you go through all your Ragnaroks. So yeah, I think that's decent. It does also then give you access to, I won't say a bigger rank 8 pool, but it does just stop yourself from being limited to just Kali Yuga or Hope Harbinger. Then we have 3 Kepler, which is your searcher for your searcher. 2 Copernicus, which is the Foolish Burial. And the 1 Orthros, which lets you synchro with Genghis for the new level 10 synchro, or use it with Copernicus to synchro Siegfried, Beals, Omega, whichever one you want. Then we play 2 Ash Blossom. Yeah, basically, there's many times where I find myself having Ash Blossom, but preferably wanting the Ghost Ogre. So you can feel free to play Ghost Ogre instead of Ash Blossom, but I've got Ash Blossom, so I might as well use Ash Blossom. Then my last monster is Maxi. Every deck should be playing Maxi in my personal opinion, just because it's so good. Then we have 3 Gate, search for any DD card you want. Swamp King, fuse from practically anywhere. Then we have 3 Allure and 2 Desires. So that's the draw power of the deck really. Like I said earlier, you can banish your Ghost with the Allure to recycle a Necro or Swirl Slime. And Desires is just actually pretty good. Just draw cards. Then we play 2 one-offs, which is a Foolish and 1 for 1. This is essentially like a 4th Kepler in all retrospect. And Foolish Burial lets you dump whatever you want, so it's pretty decent. 3 Traps is the 1 Witch and 2 Strike. This could be a 3rd Strike if you wanted to, but I prefer this because it lets you dump your DD materials to pop any card on the field, and it's really cool. So onto the extra deck, we have the 1 Decode. The only link monster that you should potentially run. There's decks out there that play Gofu, and then they'll run the 2 Link Spider, or we might just run the Decode, the Gofu, and the Gaia link monster. But I prefer having more extra deck room, so it's just literally the 1 Decode talker for this deck. Fusion cards, we have double Genghis, D-Arc, and Banewolf, pretty standard. But I also have now included the 1 Starving Venom Supreme King. So basically this lets you target any monster on the field or in the graveyard, and it gains that effect of that monster and the name. So you can target a Genghis if you want, and it becomes Genghis, and you special any DD monster, and special any DD monster from the graveyard. You can make itself a Bane Wolf, so that all DDs do piercing. Or you can target Siegfried and it effectively becomes Siegfried for a turn. So yeah, really good. And it's really easy to make as well. You can use those dead Keplers and Copernicus if you really want to. So on to Synchros, the 2/7s. This just allows for a bit of a extended play, really. You Synchro summon it, then you will special say Ragnarok in your scale, then Ragnarok will trigger specialing any DDD from graveyard. Then we run the 1 Siegfried, Omega and Beals. So basically I don't like playing Crystal Wing in this deck, just purely because it requires, well, you've got to use one of your level 7 Synchros, and I don't think, it's overly necessary, which is why I run Beals. Plus Beals is, still an out to Masterpiece, because True Dracos are still a thing, and obviously this works better to my playstyle anyway. And the last Synchro is the Executive Alexander. So basically this card is overpowered as hell. If there's 3 or more DDDs, and specifically DDDs, on the field, it becomes a 6k monster. And this is where it can sort of combo in conjunction with this. So obviously this can be one of your DDDs that's in your graveyard or on the field. And by changing its name, you actually then build towards getting a 6k beta. And it also has a pretty sweet ability where if a DD monster is normal or special, do special any DD from graveyard. So if you get this out, it's 95% of the time gonna be a 6k beta, depending on what you've got in graveyard to begin with. Alternatively, you could play the Bright Armageddon, but this one specifically requires a triple D non-tuner monster, and it saves you having to use, the good triple Ds in your main or extra deck just to bring it out. And lastly, we have the 1 Doom King, 1 Kali Yuga, and 1 Hope Harbinger. So going first, you sort of want to make this, but it's not overly important. This is pretty decent, Kali Yuga is just Kali Yuga. But I prefer this one the most, just because it has more attack than Hope Harbinger, and it also stops your pendulum monsters from being destroyed by card effects. The difference with this one, as opposed to these two, is that this one specifically requires 2 DDD monsters, well, 2 level 8 DDD monsters to make. But that's where your Ragnarok comes in, and yeah, it's pretty easy to get out turn 1 or turn 2. I mean, you could, theoretically, if I stop knocking my camera, I do apologise. You could theoretically cut the Kali Yuga, or even this itself, out for the new rank 6, the Executive Caesar. But I don't like the Executive Caesar because you basically have to use both Genghises, and more often than not, Genghis will end up banished because I use Necro Slime to make Bane Wolf. But yeah, that's my DD deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear some suggestions and improvements in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more content. I do plan to bring you my Draco Demise deck profile at some point in this week, so obviously stay tuned for that. And this is iAzraXD signing out.